Connecting. I'm live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube live stream of Team Recorder. There's a bit of latency on what I see, but I don't think that is going to be a problem. So I'm just going to talk for a minute while I'm waiting for you guys to log on. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, and I always really enjoy them. You always have a lot of questions that you send to me on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, in email, and it's really difficult to find the time to respond to all of them. So, a nice little live stream is always nice. Okay, let's have a look. We've got some people joining. Hello. Hi, everybody. I can see Bunny and Kami, Jean, Shayna. Wow, lots of you. Hey, greetings from Colombia. Hi, I'm from Brazil. Hi. Well, I'm in here in Amsterdam. It's freezing here. I don't know how it is where you are, but it's so cold. It feels like minus 18 or something. Okay, so the idea of this evening is just to chat to you guys, and if you have any questions at all about the recorder or about music, just shoot them and I will do my best to answer you off the top of my head. So let's get into it. I can see the questions coming in already. Hello in Hungary and in Texas. Nice. Okay. The first question, where is she? I'm in Amsterdam. Way. Second question, on what note should we tune? That's a very good question. I would take a nice open fingering on your recorder. So for example, the D on an alto or A on a soprano. That can be nice, or this one. But I prefer to tune on a few different notes, not only one, but trying different ones all out. And in that way you can really hear if you're in tune, because you can tune one note and then the rest can still be out. So I would take some nice strong open fingerings and use those. I'm trying to answer and read your comments at the same time. Oh, we've got people from Arkansas and from Shropshire. Oh, that's really near where I studied. I studied in Birmingham. Oh, from Crete. And wow, India. This is so nice. Okay. Oh, this is a good question. Are there any recorder skills that can be applied to brass playing? That is a good question. I will say I don't play any brass instruments, so I might not be the best person to ask. Of course, all things about musicality can all apply. What I know from once dating a trumpet player is that the articulation used on a brass instrument needs to be a lot stronger and the air pressure is a lot more. I'm sorry, this is a really rubbish answer, to be honest. I don't actually know, but if you guys also play a brass instrument, this could be something really interesting to share. There is a really cool brass instrument, a kind of Baroque Renaissance instrument called a cornetto that was basically like a recorder with a trumpet mouthpiece. And it was really virtuosic. You could play like... So looking at the cornetto could be something really interesting if you're a brass recorder person. All right, let's have a look. Okay, how can I convince my band director to let me play the recorder in band? That is also a good question. I have been through the same thing. What I did, this was when I was in high school and I wanted to play in the school musical. We did Grease. I just wrote my own part and showed up and they were like, okay, you're an enthusiastic student. I think you could just really explain to them that, like, hey, I really want to do this. I think it would fit great. The only thing is that the recorder could be a bit soft. So what you can do is amplify yourself. I'll just see if I've got a microphone here. 1 second. If your band, I'm pretty sure your band would have a microphone like this. This is your general singing microphone, SM58. It costs about $100, and it could be worth just miking yourself up, and then there'll be no problems with volume, with balance, and then in that way you've kind of come with a solution to the problem, and you'll be fine. Good luck. I really hope it works. Okay. Next question. I want to ask you about romantic music for the recorder. What do you want to ask me? I think the question is probably, is there romantic music for the recorder? The answer is yes. There's not a huge amount, but it does exist. Some composers that wrote for the recorder or instruments like the recorder were Kramer or Heberle or Bousquet. I'm going to write these in the chat box. Romantic composers for recorder to check out. Kramer, Heberle, Bousquet. So check out these guys. It's down there in the comments, and that's a really good starting point to listen to. Okay, so I'm continuing down the questions. Oh, wait a second. I've moved everything on my computer screen. Hi to everybody who's just joining. Feel free to shoot your questions at me. I'm going to do my best to answer them this evening. I hope you're all having a good time. Let's see. Hi from Spain. Hi from Greece. Hi from Romania. Hi. Okay. Will I be playing in the Utrecht Early Music Festival this year? That's a good question. This year, I don't have plans to, but keep an eye on my website. That's sarahjeffrey.com. You can see all of my gigs listed there. Let me just see what I'm doing at that point. I'll be around in any case, and I always update my concerts there, so you can see that. I'm just looking if I'm playing in Utrecht near there at that point. So this is very interesting for all of you watching me click on my computer screen. Oh, I will be performing in Utrecht at the Gaudiamus Festival, which is the festival for contemporary music, and that's around the same time as the festival for early music. So yes, I will be there. When does the world tour for my CD start? Yeah, I'll keep you updated on everything about that. For those of you who don't know, I have recorded my debut CD. It's currently in post-production. Of course, I'm going to let you know when it's going to be released, how you can order it. All of that is coming, but we're working hard on it behind the scenes, so just stay posted. Oh, but I'm so excited. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Leonardo is saying, I've got a soprano Yamaha YRS 23. Could you tell us something about this, please? Off the top of my head, I can't remember absolutely every model of instrument. Let's have a look. Nope, that's a different one. To be honest, I don't have that exact one. This is a YRS 314B. Yeah, I really like Yamaha plastic instruments. When I have bought plastic instruments in the past, they have pretty much always been Yamaha. So if you have that one, I think it's probably a good one. What do you think about it? It'd be nice if you can also share your feedback down in the comments below. So, this is a good question. Do recorders have a set range? Like when I play trombone, I can go as high or low as I can physically get. Can recorders do that or play pedal notes? I'm not sure if I completely understand your question. Recorders have a much larger range than we actually think, because you can use all of the holes, including the hole at the bottom, to go even lower, or even super high. Whoa! Sorry about your ears. So I think every recorder can go a bit higher and a bit lower than we think. And of course we have the whole recorder family. So you can go from the Garkline of 15 centimetres to the 3 metre tall contrabass. I hope that kind of answers your question. Is there an effective way to clean the block without taking it out? Okay, I'm just going to grab a wooden recorder. One that's a bit clearer. Okay, so this is an alto recorder, and the block is this block of cedar wood here. And that is why in some languages like Dutch or German it's called a blockfluit. And the block is actually the part of the recorder that shapes the air. And it's really good to clean it once in a while, because if it gets a bit disgusting and dirty. Is there a good way of cleaning it without taking it out? Well, the best way is to take it out, to be honest. It's not as scary as you think. Can I do that right now? Maybe a bit later. I have to go downstairs and get a wooden spoon to knock it out with. But basically you get a length of wood or a wooden spoon, put it in here in the end and go bam, 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 and it comes out. It's terrifying the first time you do it, but it's really not that bad. And then you can clean it with surgical spirit, alcohol. I've done a whole video on this of cleaning your recorder. To clean the block without taking it out, I would use them preventative measures, warming it up really well before you play, possibly under your arm, because that reduces condensation. Cleaning your teeth before you play, so you've not got like food and stuff going in there. And that's basically it. So to give your recorder block a proper clean, I'd take it out. But you can always, if you know other recorder players or even a recorder maker, you could ask them to help you. That's probably good. Hi everybody. Whoa, there's so many people. So I'm just scrolling a bit. Let's have a look. Where was I? Hi in the Philippines. How many hours per week did I play when I began? This is such a good question, and I've been thinking about it recently. Well, when I first began, I was a child, and I don't even know how many hours I played per week. Probably not a lot. I don't think I did a lot of practice when I was a kid. I went to a recorder club every Saturday for 45 minutes, and that was probably it. I decided very late that I wanted to go and study the recorder professionally. So that was when I was 17. And then I was maybe practicing an hour a day. I'm saying late. It's never too late to start. But a lot of the people I went and studied with at Conservatorium had been studying hard since they were 5. And I was a bit like, oh, okay. To be honest, it's always differed. It's differed according to whether I've been studying or not. I've always had to have a part-time job at the same time, you know, life responsibilities. It differs whether I am working on a big project or not. So sometimes when I was studying and I had exams coming, I could be playing for 8 hours a day. Sometimes I was working and I had no time for playing. It really changes all the time. And in the end, it's according to what is good for you, motivational for you, and possible to combine with your daily life and with your body and your health. So as a professional, sometimes, I have to do so many different work things. I guess when I was studying, I would try and aim for 3 or 4 hours a day. But that was as a music student. Today I practiced for about 2 hours. Yeah, there's no one really clear answer, and I think it's going to be different for every single person, and that's also absolutely fine. Hey, we've also got organists listening and trumpet players. This is awesome. Recorder is for everybody. Yeah, Darren's saying, I'm trying to convince my parents to let me be a recorder player, but they won't buy me anything other than my alto. I feel your pain, but you can go a long way with your alto. I would suggest just keep going, keep practicing, show them that you're dedicated, and then they'll be much more open to investing in another one if they can really see that, like, yes, this is what we're doing. Okay. Hi to Jameson Forge in Oregon. Oh, we just had Facebook contact. Everybody, Jameson just started a recorder YouTube channel with music from video games, and it's awesome. Go and check it out. Please put your link there if you want to. Do you have tips for a practice schedule for playing on all sizes? Most methods I've found focus mainly on alto or only bass, but I play all continuously. Any thoughts? This is a good one. If you play different sizes, how to combine this so that everything is kind of ticking along, you don't forget one. I would say you don't have to be practicing them all at the same time. That could get quite unmanageable. I really like to mix it up, make sure I'm playing a piece on alto, one on tenor, and maybe on bass, but it's not like you have to, for example. At risk of sounding really vague, I think it's that you've got to figure out what's right for you. Some people really benefit from really focusing on one and then switching and really focusing on another. But say, for example, you have the time to practice 3 times a week and you have 3 sizes of recorder. You could say, Mondays I'm going to do soprano and alto, Wednesdays I'm going to do alto and tenor, and Saturdays I'll do tenor and soprano, for example. I really like to write things down, so I have my trusty notebook and sketch out a bit of a plan, and then I can see it, and if it's physically there in front of me, that really helps to do that. So just remember that there's no hard and fast rule. There's not like a right or wrong way you can do it, so just experiment and figure out what's right for you, and if you found something that works, then share it, because that could be good for somebody else as well. I hope that helps. Okay, so we've got Brian saying, I would love to hear you improvising for just a minute. Okay. I'm just gonna improvise. Oh, la. There we go, in no particular style. I do like improvising. That was quite cheesy. Oh, okay. Alkistis says, do you play ocarina? Actually, yes. Very basically and very badly. I'll just get my ocarina for you. Here we go. This is my ocarina with 10 holes. I bought it because I was playing a contemporary piece by Dutch composer Roderick de Man, and I had to play this, and I've since performed with it a couple of times. I discovered that the ocarina actually has very complex fingerings that are very different to the recorder, which I have since forgotten. But I really like my ocarina. It has the range of I think an octave and a tone. Am I singing that right? So yeah, but you know, the recorder is my thing. Frickin' everything is an instrument. Yeah. Okay, Popcorn Pineapple is asking an excellent question. What is contemporary music? Oh my god, that's... I think people have written whole books on this. I mean, literally it means music that's made now. So you could argue that every music has been contemporary music at some point. But we generally use it to mean classical, so like Western art music that's written in a certain style, in modern style. Oh, this is quite vague. Unsurprisingly, contemporary music changes all the time, just like technology changes and fashion changes and everything changes. Often we think of contemporary music as this like angular, abstract kind of like very difficult to listen to. And there's a lot of music like that, but that was a very definite style, more related to the 1960s and 70s. There's a lot of really good contemporary music coming out now. I really like to play that and to work together with composers to create that. So that's kind of basically it. I've done a couple of videos on it, so maybe check them out. It might be something you're into, it might be something you're not, and that's also fine. Oh, Wolgadid saying, do you like Monteverdi? Yes! Actually, next week I have a concert with the Royal Wind. We're playing some Monteverdi. Oh, I'll play you my part. That's nice. Let's have a look. Where's my recorder? Just over here getting out a Renaissance tenor. Oh, that's an alto. Wait 1 second. Ha! This is a Renaissance tenor that belongs to my trio, and I'll play you a little bit of the Monteverdi. I played the fourth line, so it's not the tune, it's one of the middle parts, but it sounds like this. Monteverdi, such a nice composer. For you, those of you who don't know, he is early Baroque. I'm dredging up my my music history knowledge now. I believe he wrote the first opera, and there's a whole bunch of stuff for recorders by him. Anne asks, how to position your hand for a lower C sharp or F sharp roll key, please. I find it hard to control. So this is an instrument... let me just get that recorder out. So when you're playing a low instrument and you're using all of your fingers and you're putting your little finger on a roll key, how to position that hand. well, this isn't a roll key, but you can kind of get the gist. This is my tenor. I hope you can see this. So I have my hand in the most natural position I can. So my arm and my wrist are just one straight line. I'm trying not to kind of twist it or bend it. And what I'm just trying to do is open my fingers, keeping everything as natural as possible. And there has to be a bit of this. So my first two fingers are a bit bent. These two fingers are a little bit more stretched. And then I feel like in that way, it's natural. I'm not doing something that's going to give me an injury. Yeah. And the good thing is all of these joints have a lot of rotation, so maybe you need to rotate it very slightly to get to the point that feels comfortable for you. But that's how I would do it. Okay. Oh, Jerome saying, have you ever played the C.P.E. Bach Trio Sonata for viola and bass recorder? If so, what do you think of it? Yes, I have played it. I enjoyed it. I would say it's not, I mean, I don't know, it's not my favourite piece of Baroque music ever, but I think it was really nice. I think it's very special because of the sound colours, viola and bass recorder. However, I played it with a group that played it at Baroque pitch in 415, and I did not have a Baroque bass at that time, so I had to transpose everything down a semitone. The result was that it sounded really bad, because instead of using strong open fingerings, I was using all these sharps and flats and fork fingerings. So basically, I don't think I gave the best performance ever. But it's a good piece, and I think you should play it. Hi from Iceland! Is it easier to get strong low notes on Baroque or Renaissance recorders? It's different. The funny thing I notice on Baroque recorders, my F, so everything close, tends to be quite like normal, and then the G, one finger up, is very strong, and on my Renaissance recorders it's the other way round. Let me just show you. So everything close is then quite soft, quite strong, and I take one finger away and it's a bit soft. Fascinating. Yeah, so I don't think either is easier than the other, they're just different. Oh, this is a good question from Nico in Belgium, in België. Hello. Hi Sarah, what would be the required minimum level in order to decently join your masterclass in Germany? So this feels like one big advert now, but it's not. I'll just fetch something. In October, I will be going to Fulda in Germany to the Mollenhauer Centre and be giving a 2-day masterclass. There is my face. It's a 2-day masterclass on being the best recorder player you can be. So my aim is to help the group of people there with warming up and practicing and technique, and just basically helping you to improve in your own way. There hasn't been a specific repertoire given or age limit or technical ability, because I want to keep it quite open. Basically, if you're a complete beginner, then it won't be for you, but it's for people who are really looking to improve themselves and to go into details. Your actual level doesn't matter so much, because I really believe you can go into these things no matter your level. It's also nice if you can bring a couple of pieces with you that we can work on together in a lesson/masterclass format. So the long and short of it, you don't have to be like super advanced or something, but enough that you can maybe go into detail, like come with some questions and come with some pieces. I hope that was a very vague answer, but I hope that kind of answers your question a bit. And if there's a mix of abilities, that's also really nice because then we can learn from each other. Yeah. So in short, I would love to see you all there. That would be really cool. I think I'll be doing more masterclasses. Yeah. Okay. Good. Da, 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 da. Let's have a look. How often do I practice? It's a good question. When I was a music student, I tried to practice every day. It didn't always work because I also had a job, and now that I'm a professional, it's the same. So I do a lot of things. Sometimes I'm rehearsing all day. Sometimes I have a program coming up and I'm practicing all day. Sometimes I have something else, like I'm editing articles for the Recorder magazine in the Netherlands and I'm just writing all day, or I'm tired and I'm sleeping all day. So I practice according to what I need in order to be able to perform the concerts well that I'm doing. So it really, really varies. Okay. Is the recorder in itself an instrument family, or is it in a family? Both. The recorder family is a family. You've got all the different sizes, tenor and alto and soprano and all of those. But it's within the woodwind family, which is within the instrument family. So it's a bit like an animal. Like a mouse is a rodent, which is a mammal, which is a living being. Yeah, so both. Okay. Do you have to be experienced to play the recorder? Experienced in what? I think everyone can start. Yeah, everyone can start to play the recorder, but you don't have to like have a license or something. Oh, Emily's saying, your school hid your bass recorder. That is very rude. That is very rude. Do recorder players play bebop? Yes, they do. I will not, even though I love jazz music. I'm not a good jazz player, but there are really great recorder jazz players. Tali Rubinstein, who I'm always talking about, she's based in New York. My good friend and colleague Kim Jose Bode is actually, for this whole year, improviser in residence at the Murs Festival in Germany, and there are also more. So yeah, you can definitely play bebop on your recorder. Hi. Oh. Da, 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 da. So I'm just scrolling. My computer is pinwheeling. Does anyone else have this problem? So, how should I take care of and transport my recorders? I'm actually not going to answer this question here because 2 weeks ago I did a whole video on that, and maybe a lot of you will have seen that. So I would suggest going and checking that out. Storage and transport. I have mine in their cases in a rucksack on my bag, and that's always been fine, and I go everywhere on the bike. So yeah, go and check that out. Okay, so Squid Tone is saying, I've introduced you to my 4th grader recorder class. Oh, nice. Say hi to them from me. Do you ever visit schools or places like that? Yes, I do. I have some plans coming up this year. I'm going to be in Scotland, maybe in Italy. There's a few things in the air. I do visit schools and places for a fee, of course, because this is my job. So basically, yeah, I can come and give a class or some lessons or a little concert, but it just has to all be arranged. If you're really serious about that, then send me an email. It's all my contact details are on the About page of YouTube. You can also check out if I'm visiting somewhere, that will be on my website because there'll be a concert and maybe it's possible to combine things around that. So I'm always up for doing that. That would be nice. I agree, Ali. I did sound like a moose when I was improvising. I take that as a great compliment. Okay, Laura is saying, have you played in Vienna before? No! I have never been to Austria. I have never been to Vienna. And I am still shocked by this. Vienna is one of the world centres for recorder playing. There are so many good players there. And I'm kind of ashamed I've never been there. So that's definitely one of my goals in the next couple of years, to go and perform there. So I'd like to do that. Yeah. Let's see. Sergio says, hi Sarah. Hi. What's the best position for the thumb hole in the high register? Side or tip? That's a good question. I actually use this area of my thumb. That's my particular thumb based on my hand size and my hand mobility. It doesn't have to be exactly the same for you, but if you use the very front, then you're going to end up with a kind of this kind of hand position, which I don't feel works. So I try to have, as I said before, my arm and my wrist in one natural line and my fingers and thumb in the most natural position possible. And for me, then that means using this part of my thumb to close it. And then I hope you can see this, but when I move my thumb, it's just a very small movement from the first knuckle, everything as natural and efficient as possible. That works for me. Can I play hot cross buns? Oh my god, no, that's way too hard. No. What's my favourite recorder? Emily, it changes all the time. All the time. I would say in general, I like a tenor. I like a good tenor recorder. My favourite of my recorders that I own, I would say, is my Ganassi Soprano by Stefan Bletzinger. Let me just grab that. They're all behind me because a few days ago I was recording, so I just went with all of my instruments and I've not yet unpacked them. This is, I would say, my favourite instrument that I own. Stefan Bletzinger is an incredible recorder maker and I just love this. Look how wide this instrument is. If you compare it to, I get very excited about this, to like a regular Baroque recorder, look at the difference. This gives a really huge sound and I'm just in love with it. I use it obviously for Renaissance music, which is what it was based on, but also in my pop band and also contemporary music and just all the time. Okay, Andrea, how many octaves can a high quality recorder tenor with keys? On my tenor, I have played a piece that uses more than 3 octaves. That was with some special, really hard blowing, funny fingerings, and even covering the labium like this. Sorry about your ears. But yeah, you can force a good 3 octaves out of it. The question is, do you need to or want to? But the option is there. Hi in Mexico. Okay, play something from Vivaldi. Let's try. Where's my recorder? That was my badly remembered tutti from the Vivaldi Concerto in C major, which I once performed for my end exam in England in 2007. It's a lovely piece. Paulina van der Haar says, hi from the Netherlands. Not related, but how well do you speak Dutch? Now, I'll give you a little bit of Dutch. Ik woon hier al bijna 11 jaar, dus inmiddels doe ik eigenlijk alles in het Nederlands. Al mijn werk hier is in het Nederlands. Lesgeven, workshops geven, schrijven, repeteren. Dus ook al heb ik echt een Engels accent, vind ik, als ik het terugluister, mijn hele leven is hier eigenlijk in het Nederlands. Dus zo. En soms zeg ik het in plaats van de en andersom. Maar ja, daar kan ik niets aan doen. Dus zo. That is me speaking Dutch. Fascinating. Leonardo is saying, I would like you to teach us how to play all notes on the German recorder rather than the Baroque one. To be honest, I only play with Baroque fingerings. That's what I've always learnt. The main difference is that the F on a soprano on the Baroque will be like this. And a German will be like this. But I don't know them all off the top of my head because I never learnt German fingerings. But you can go to, I believe it's called recorderfingerings.com, and then you can find them all there. So, oh, Mary's saying your mum's graduating and getting her masters. Congratulations! That's so amazing. How do you do good trills between C and C sharp on the soprano? Indeed, that's difficult. I would do... With a trill, I think it's okay to use a cheat fingering. So I would do... Play a C and then trill with your second finger. Whoops. Whoop, whoop. Marco saying, can you say a bit more on your career? How did you achieve to be a professional recorder player? What's the difference with Philharmonic orchestra members? Well, I mean, I could do a whole video on this, and I have done a video on how I became a recorder player and one on what I do. What does a recorder player actually do? I will say this, I studied for a long time. I studied 2 bachelor degrees and a master's degree at Conservatorium. That was a total of 9 years of study. I was very lucky. I started studying in England at a time when tuition fees were very cheap. Nowadays, it costs 27,000 to get a degree in England, which is, no, 36,000, which is insane. And my whole degree cost 2,000. So, I mean, I was lucky to study when I did. That's a whole other story. But basically, I studied for a long time. That gave me a lot of opportunities. I could meet people and I could gradually build up work. What I do now is a combination of playing concerts, giving lessons and masterclasses, writing, and YouTube. This has become part of my job, which I love. And like any self-employed freelance person, that's a question of making contacts, working, building it up to a point when you can live from it. So that's what I've done. I started studying when I was 18. I'm now 32. So I've been going at it for 14 years. I graduated from my master's 5 years ago. So that's kind of how it's been building up. And with respect to a Philharmonic orchestra member, I mean, if you have a fixed position in an orchestra, that's like any regular salaried job. So it's like the difference between someone who has a salaried position to a self-employed freelancer person. But nowadays, almost no one has a regular salaried job in music. So everybody is doing a mixture of different things. But I love it. I mean, I love doing all these different things. And I think if you didn't, it would be very hard to be a professional musician. So, is there another professional recorder player you would like to play with? Yes, many. God, basically anyone. That is the great thing about the recorder world. I'm a big fan of so many people, but because the world is also quite small, you end up getting to know each other as well, which is really nice. But yeah, there are a lot of recorder players I would really like to play with. A lot. How to play on the bass recorder a B. The high... Do you mean like a high B? I don't have my bass recorder here, but... So you would do half thumb, 1, 2, 3, and finger 5. Or the octave above that, you would do half thumb, 1, 2, 4, 5. Sorry about your ears. What are my opinions on plastic recorders? I think there are a lot of really good ones out there. There is a whole video on plastic recorders coming. I know you guys want it. I have made it. It's coming out soon. I mean, I'll be honest, for concerts I prefer my handmade wooden recorders, but there is nothing wrong with plastic recorders. Sometimes I perform on them. I often practiced on them. And I think they're very good and necessary. So hold out for my video. Michael saying, what's the best, cheapest and easiest way to record a part in order to play along with duets? I would say with your phone. My entire first year of Team Recorder was all recorded on my iPhone. So you could just use that with the voice memos. Otherwise, you can download on your computer a program for free. There's one called Audacity. That could work really well. And both of those options are free. So I would go with either of those. So Vasily is saying, are you going to show us some exotic scales to take advantage of the versatility of this wonderful instrument? That is very possible. Oh, let me show you a microtonal scale. So rather than playing semitones, that's like the keys of the piano, I'm going to split each one in half to get quarter tones. Oh, missed that one. So I have to practice it a bit. But yeah, oh my god, the recorder is so versatile. Like the human voice. You can get every single grade of the scale. So not only semitones, but everything in between with a mixture of creative fingerings. So that's why I love this instrument. It's a good question from Farid. How do you act with a non-talented student? Do you encourage them or like they're only wasting your time? Students that will quit. Okay. I think that everybody has the potential to be able to make music. It's not that you're born with talent or not. So I think everybody can find a way to enjoy music and to progress in their own way. It's true that different people are good at different things. I see some of my students really like getting into the emotion of the piece. Maybe they find it difficult to read the notes, but they can really learn by ear. Some can play super fast, but they find it difficult to play slow. None of this is wrong. That is the beauty of music and teaching music, that all students are different. So I really try not to see my students in terms of talented or not, because that's not what it's about. If a student really, really doesn't care, like I can tell they really don't want to be there and they just want to quit, and in the end they do quit, then that's also okay. No one has to be forced to play music. But I've always tried to find ways to encourage them. I had one student, for example, who I think didn't really want to learn the recorder, was there because the parents brought the student there. But that student really loves science, so we did a lot of science experiments, like, okay, what is louder, the A on the piano or on your recorder, and can you find the highest note that you can? And we'd always try and get in there from their interest. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question a little bit. Annie's saying, did you ever struggle from people who made fun of you because you played the recorder? Well, it's kind of annoying, but I never really let it bother me. To be honest, at school I didn't really I wasn't made fun of because I played the recorder. I was made fun of for all other reasons. I was just very nerdy in general, and yeah, I think playing the recorder was the least of my worries. I mean, to be honest, also now today on YouTube, I get a lot of comments. People like, "Oh, the recorder's stupid. Oh, you have a stupid life. Go and do something." But I just ignore it because, yeah, it's kind of sad that they take the time to make those comments. I'm like, okay, I'm just living my life. Yeah, so I think if people are making fun of you for playing the recorder, then that's just really sad for them. I hope that they can go out and find something that makes them happy, because I think if someone is making fun of someone else, it's often from a place of not understanding or a place of anger or fear, and it's just a shame for them. So just try and rise above it, take the high road, and enjoy the thing that you're doing. Is it possible to book a lesson with me, live in the Netherlands? In principle, it is. It depends very much on what I'm doing. If it's something you're really serious about, then just drop me an email. We can see if we can work something out. My teaching schedule at the moment is really full, but sometimes I try and fit in a one-off lesson here or there. Or I can also direct you to a place where I'm giving a masterclass that you can join, for example. Oh, in August, I will be teaching for 3 days at the Blokfluitdagen, the record days in Mechelen in Belgium. So that's another place that it's possible for you to join. Okay, Richard, greetings from Los Angeles. Hi, are you familiar with David Monroe's career? Yes, not super familiar, but David Monroe, I believe, was one of the first kind of modern day recorder players, I guess in the 60s, and he did a lot of really, really cool stuff. Yeah, that's an interesting one to get into. Yes. Just taking a bit of a break from talking. I'm having a lot of fun talking to you guys. I hope you're finding this interesting. By the way, this will be online later on, so if you get a bit like, oh, from all of these answers, you can come back and watch it later. By the way, I'm going to sign off at 9 o'clock. That's in 8 minutes, so I'm going to go through a few more questions. And yeah, and then I'll have talked at you for a whole hour. What instruments mix well with a recorder ensemble? Oh, a lot. There are so many different choices. For example, strings work really well, string quartet or a string continuo section. We saw that a lot in the Baroque. A guitar works really well. There's a lot of pieces for recorder and guitar. In the Renaissance times, you had what was called a so-called broken consort. So a whole consort was a group of instruments from the same family, recorders or viols, and a broken consort was a mixed group. So you could have a recorder and a viol and an oboe and a drum and a trumpet. So yeah, the possibilities are endless, and I've played in some weird combinations like recorders, bass clarinet and percussion. Or there's a great ensemble called Black Pencil, and that's recorder, panpipes, viola, percussion, accordion. So basically it goes as far as your imagination can take you. Hathaway saying, any tips for nerves? Yes, I'm going to direct you to the video I made about that. It's called Nerves and Stage Fright. I published it in January, and I talk at length about that. So go and check that out. I don't think I can summarise it here in 30 seconds, apart from saying everybody suffers with nerves at some point, myself included. You are not alone and you are not wrong. So I think the first step is to embrace them, be like, okay, they're here. Let's go with them rather than fighting against them. And then check out my video on nerves and stage fright, and hopefully that will give you some tips. Oh, Laura, that's a good question. How can I interact and connect with the audience while performing? Whoa! Basically, I think if you are really in the music, then it will come across no matter what. So try not to pull yourself out of your head and think, I've got to connect, I've got to interact, and looking at them and second guessing yourself, because then you'll be just off somewhere else. But really just try and put all of your passion and energy into what you're playing, and the audience will really feel that. They will. Helgi is asking, how is it different to blow into the wide bore recorders? Well, if a recorder with a wide bore, that's like literally a bigger opening, your air is lost faster. So it's the difference between like and it can be difficult to get used to in the beginning because you've got less resistance. It feels like your air is just all going. But if you kind of relax into it and blow really warm air, like, it can suddenly feel like, oh, I have all of this sound. So it's a really nice feeling. Yes, I like bass recorders. That's a nice simple question. I'm just going to say hi to a few of you. Hi from Moscow. Hi in Canada. Hi in the Caribbean. Wow, there's so nice to see so many of you. Oh, and guys, there's so many questions. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all of them. I'm going to try and go down as far as Luca's question, and then I'm going to sign off. Oh, someone's saying I speak good Dutch. Thank you. Amelia's saying, am I involved in any Nairo courses? The plan is to actually... I was meant to be teaching on a Nairo course next week, actually. Due to circumstances, that's not going to happen, but hopefully next year or something. So I will keep you updated on all of that. Nairo, by the way, is the National Youth Recorder Orchestra in England. Shannon's saying, I would love to do a DIP ABRSM. That's a diploma. Any advice on choosing a program? I would choose something that's varied, shows different musical styles. Of course, you have to do that, but that you really enjoy playing. So don't think what the examiner wants to hear. Think what you want to play, what you want to give them. Because actually, they probably won't be recorder specialists. So you're showing them what you are passionate about. And I think that's the most important thing. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the person that's going to have to practice these pieces for ages. I did this DIP ABRSM, and I played a Telemann Fantasia number 8, a sonata, early Baroque sonata by Cima, and a modern piece, but I really can't remember what I did. But it was all pieces that I liked. Ryan's saying, you're curious about electronics. Yes, I'd definitely be up for telling more about that. Yeah, I can do a video on that. Paulina says, do you have any tips for learning to play by heart? Yes, I did a whole video on, it's quite an early video. Actually, it's a really early video, so I probably talk a bit quieter. But I did a whole video on learning playing by heart memorization. So check that out way down in my videos from a couple of years ago. I'm still quite proud of that video. I go through a lot of different angles and techniques. So I think that could help you. Michael saying, I live on an Indian reservation in the USA. Have you ever played the Native American flute? No, actually, I have not. I've never played that. No. Yeah, I could imagine that would be really beautiful. But I have never played it. Here we go again. Okay, instruments mixed. I've gone through those pieces. Oh, a good question. What do I think about the piece Sweet by Louis Andriessen? Oh, this is a classic. Let me just get the score to show you. Sweet by Louis Andriessen was arguably the first proper contemporary work for recorder, published in 66, 64. Oh, I should know that. And it basically was meant to push the performer to their absolute limits until they have a bit of a nervous breakdown on stage. I will say this, it's not pretty to listen to, but that is not the idea. The idea was to push the instrument to its limits, and it really broke open everything, the kind of preconceptions about what the recorder was capable of, and really made it possible for the recorder to develop in a much broader way. So there was no more, oh, the recorder is soft and it sounds sweet and it can play these notes. It was like, no, it can do all of this. So I think it was a very necessary reaction, and in that sense I love this piece. Yeah, so I wouldn't put this on my CD player to listen to with my cup of tea, but in terms of the context of the history of our instrument, I think it's really great and important. And of course, Louis Andriessen is a fantastic composer. So yeah, it's great that we have a piece by him. Let's see. I'm just going to answer a couple more questions, then I'll let you guys go and enjoy your Saturday night or Saturday morning or Sunday morning, depending where you are in the world. Jerome says, I'm at music college as a violist, but I'm also into folk music and kind of play the Irish whistle. Do you think this is okay, or do you think it's too much to maintain? I think it's really good to have a second interest next to your main one. This gives you perspective. It can be really refreshing. It can be good for your career. I would say if you feel like everything is too much, then take a step back and take a break. But it can be really good to have different things. Personally, I've always played the recorder. But when I was studying, I have done a lot of clog dance, traditional folk dancing from England. I mean, that whole thing is a story for another day. But I will say, doing clog dance alongside recorder not only was really fun, they enhanced each other, and it gave me a lot of career opportunities. Being able to dance as well as play, being able to do these two different things. So I would say if you're enjoying it, then go for it. If you feel like, oh my God, this is too much, it's fine to give it a break. But you know, nothing is forever. You can do something for a year and let it rest, pick it up again. I always think everything comes in waves. So go for it, but don't sweat it too much. Oh God, there's so many good questions. Whew. I'm going to answer a couple of questions from people that I haven't answered yet. Oh, any engagements planned for anywhere in the United States? Again, I will let you know. Not currently planned, but my husband is American, so we go there quite often. So if I'm going to perform it in the USA, which I would really like to do, I will let you know, because I know so many of you, I can actually see in my YouTube analytics that a lot of you live in the USA, so that would be really, really cool to visit you there. Okay, oh, it's a very good question. Where does Sock My Shoe come from? Yeah, that is my Twitter and Instagram name. Years ago, I had a blog about sock-shoe combinations. So I would write about my sock-shoe combinations, and if I saw someone in the street with cool socks, I would stop them and ask to take their photo, and I would write a little story about them. And that was called Sock My Shoe, and it's just always stuck, and I still really, really like it. So that's why. Because, I mean, my name's Sarah Jeffrey. Jeffrey is really annoying to spell, and there is a famous actress with the same name as me, so Sock My Shoe just kind of works for everything. I'm going to answer 2 more questions, which I am going to pick at random because I have lost my place, and then I'm going to say goodnight. So Helgi is saying, have I tried the Eagle recorder from Adri? Yes, I have tried it, and I really like it. I have considered buying one, but there are a few other things I have to invest in first. But in general, I really like it, and in general, I really love that there are recorder makers experimenting with creating new and developed types of recorders. So the Eagle is a very kind of big, wide, loud, flexible instrument. yeah, and I mean, our instrument has been developing for centuries, and the fact that it keeps developing is just brilliant. So, yeah, I'm a fan. And I'm going to answer one more question. Marinette asks, Celtic music, folk music is very beautiful. Can a recorder blend in with folk music? Yes, definitely. There are a lot of people making folk music on the recorder, myself included. Oh, actually today I was, seems like an advert for this, I was listening to the CD Vernacular by Dapper's Delight with Susanna Bush, who is an incredible recorder player, and she plays so beautifully. Other cool bands with the recorder are the Emily Askew Band, or the Bonfire Radicals, or the Fair Rain. So the recorder can definitely fit into folk music, and I think it sounds really great. So guys, I have been talking for 1 hour. Walgadid says, close with a song. Oh, yeah, I am going to close with a song. Someone else said, play some Bach, so I'm just going to do that. My memory has failed me. I don't know all of it by heart. That was part of the Bach Partita played on this Yamaha Eco Deer recorder. Oh, guys, I have had a really nice time talking to all of you. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for being a part of Team Recorder. I never, ever, ever would have thought that this group of people and this team would exist. I didn't know there were so many recorder players in the world. I'm just so happy to have found a community of people that share the love for the recorder like I do. Which is so nice. I'm really excited to see where this channel is going to go in the future. So thank you for everybody for coming and listening. A couple of updates. Thank you to everyone who's entered the giveaway on my 20,000 subscribers video. I have you've given me so many ideas for future videos, so that's really good. I'm going to put them all in a giant spreadsheet and work through them. Otherwise, there are a few exciting announcements coming up in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that as well. And let's see. Yeah, just keep watching. Yeah, it's just been really nice getting to know you all. So that's what I've basically had to say today. If you like, you can check out my Patreon page where you can support the channel, or you can visit the Team Recorder shop where you can buy stuff. But actually I don't want to do a kind of sales pitch now, because it's just been really nice talking to you guys. So I'm seeing someone saying, can you make another video with Jose, my friend? Yes, I'm definitely going to do that. But I just want to wish you all a really, really good evening / day / morning. Keep enjoying the recorder. And yeah, let's stay in touch. And with that, I shall bid you all a good night. Oh yeah, how do I always end my videos? Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!